Welcome to Focus on Health, a series of educational programs highlighting current health issues sponsored by the School of Nursing at Salisbury University. I'm Dr. Mary DiBartolo, Professor of Nursing at Salisbury University and host of the program. I welcome Shawnee Seitz.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you are the community dietitian for the Eastern Shore for Moveable Feast.
That's right, yeah.
And I have to admit, I had never heard of Moveable Feast, and someone told me about the program, kind of on the lines of Meals on Wheels, but a bit different. You're going to tell us all about that. So it's exciting to have you on.
Yeah.
And you are delivering meals on the Eastern Shore and have been since 2001.
Correct, yeah. We've been on the Eastern Shore delivering meals to our clients. We have about 200 Eastern Shore clients right now. And yeah, we've been here since 2001, actually.
Well, before we get into what you do around here, tell us how the organization got started, the history.
Sure. So Moveable Feast was started by a man actually named Robert Mell. He was an employee at the Baltimore Health Department, and he was actually diagnosed with HIV himself. And just being an employee at the department and having this medical condition himself, he realized there's not a whole lot of resources out there for people with HIV. So he founded the program in 1989. In 1990, we had 10 clients, and we've just kind of grown from there. At first, we only served clients with the medical diagnosis of HIV.
And that was in the Baltimore area?
Correct, yes. And then we expanded to the Eastern Shore, and then we also expanded to serve people with other medical conditions, such as cancer, chronic kidney disease, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease as well.
And you do have certain criteria for that. With cancer, you have to be in active treatment. With chronic kidney disease, you have to be in the later stages and so forth.
Correct, yes.
And also, I know you wanted to mention about the community first choice option. What is that exactly? And that qualifies people for Moveable Feast meals?
Right, so that's a program through Medicaid, and that client would talk to if they have if they're on Medicaid and they're living at home, and they have an ability to prepare meals or get meals, they could talk to their Medicaid caseworker to see if they would qualify for a Moveable Feast based on that option.
Okay, well, so tell us about the process of what goes on. I think you want to let people know the meals are made in Baltimore, actually, in a central facility.
Sure, yeah. So we're based in Baltimore. That's where our only office is, really. And we also have a state-of-the-art kitchen there. We also have a culinary program there. So they're also teaching people how to cook as well. So that's where all our meals are prepared. We actually make about 1,500 meals a day there. And then they're frozen, and to get to the Eastern Shore, our Eastern Shore drivers go up, pick them up, and bring them back down to our location in Federalsburg at Burroughs Logistics. That's where the meals are held.
And they do that free of charge for you. They store those meals.
They do, yes.
That's impressive.
Yep. And that's where they're held for delivery, and the meals are delivered on the Eastern Shore every Wednesday and Thursday.
So they get each client that qualifies gets a delivery once a week.
Correct.
And it's how many meals do they receive?
Yeah, it's 12 frozen meals and also 1 produce bag. If that client actually has an underage dependent, we will also provide meals for them as well.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, because you know what the meals are going to go to if, the whole family is having trouble getting meals. Usually goes to the kids anyway, so we want to make sure that the family is fed.
And the person that qualifies
exactly.
is getting the meals. Yeah, I mean, it's just so impressive. And also you said people with diabetes qualify and significant cardiovascular disease.
Right.
So you cover a realm of diagnoses.
Yep, that's correct, yeah.
So I'm just curious, how is this funded? I mean, are you a nonprofit then?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit organization. A lot of our funding is through grants, especially the Ryan White grant, if you're familiar with that. Also, a lot of our funding is through fundraisers that we put on ourselves. So each May we have a big fundraiser called Ride for the Feast, where we have participants ride their bikes from Ocean City all the way to Baltimore. So we raise a lot of money doing that. I believe last year was almost $700,000, which is awesome. We also have another fundraiser in the fall called Dining Out for Life, which is where a lot of restaurants in Baltimore participate by giving us 25% of their proceeds that one night. I believe it was in October or September.
That's very
yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
So there are lots of ways you can make some money to help offset the cost of doing this, because there are some paid employees, obviously.
Yes, there are.
And you're one of them.
I am one of them. Yeah. We also have someone that is a full-time grant writer that's always just out there looking for grants for us. In-kind donations as well. So there are quite a few ways that we generate revenue.
Yeah, I know. I think you gave me a little handy-dandy postcard here that has how you're funded, 33% through grants.
Okay, yeah.
Are you also a recipient of money through the United Way campaign?
Yes, we do receive some money through the United Way as well.
Okay, just looking for ways people can donate. 'Cause
Definitely,
it sounds like a very important enterprise, something else to augment, what Meals on Wheels does, and that's a totally separate program with a whole different approach to things.
Right.
So this is quite interesting. So let me ask you this: the chefs that prepare the food, some of them are paid employees and some are students from like the Culinary Institute or whatnot?
Right. So we actually have our own culinary program. It's a 12-week program. The participants have to have a GED, be able to pass a drug test. So I think we graduated about five students in our last class. But we do have head chefs as well. We have paid employees that work in the kitchen, not only to prepare the food, but also to teach the culinary students.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So you live here on the shore.
I do.
And you work from your home because there's no office here, just the main office in Baltimore. So what is your role, and then how do you get people onto the service?
Sure. So I am a registered dietitian. I provide medical nutrition therapy to our clients, which is a medical-based approach to treating or managing chronic conditions, even trying to prevent chronic conditions through individualized nutrition plans. So right now I'm just calling the clients that are on service right now to assess their nutritionist status, providing nutrition education or counseling, to just try to get them the best nutrition they can, working on personal goal setting with them. I'm also available if for community classes or food demonstrations, that kind of thing as well. Over in Baltimore, we actually have 3 dietitians, and they do mostly home visits right now with their clients. And eventually that's where we want to be on the Eastern Shore as well, where I can go into clients' homes, kind of make it more personable with our interactions. Sometimes it can be hard to form a connection with someone over the phone.
Right. And some of these diagnoses often are older adults that it would be easier if you met with them in person, but you're just one person, so down the road, that's the goal, is to have home visits?
Exactly, yes.
So there is an application, though, that's filled out by the medical provider or nurse or dietitian?
Correct, yep. They can find all of our applications on our website, which is mfeast.org.
But we'll post that at the end of the program. There's also a phone number for people that maybe don't have access to the web. They can call the main office in Baltimore and get hooked up with you?
Correct, yep.
Okay, let's talk more about, I know you wanted to really also talk about volunteer opportunities for people that would like to help with Moveable Feast.
Sure. So like I said, our big fundraiser, the Ride for the Feast, which is every May, we always need volunteers for that. We come right through Salisbury. We need people to help with giving the participants water, snacks, and just cheering them on as well. We do have plans to expand on the Eastern Shore. We're looking for a permanent facility that would have a kitchen and everything like we do in Baltimore. And once we get that, we'll have a lot more volunteer opportunities. In Baltimore, we rely really heavily on volunteers. There are tons of opportunities. Just for preparing all these meals, 1,500 meals a day takes volunteers.
Yeah, well, you're saying you have 200 clients, correct, on the Eastern Shore, and there's 12 meals a week? I mean, that's quite a bit.
It is, yeah.
So that is the goal, is to have the kitchen actually on the Eastern Shore instead of having to transport down and store them?
Right, so the goal is to have a facility very similar like the one in Baltimore somewhere on the Eastern Shore as well. So we're in the process right now of looking for that or looking to build that. So
That sounds like you'll need a big fundraiser.
yeah.
Or some grant money, I
Yeah.
know. But it's a great goal for a
Yeah.
great program.
I mean, we recognize that there is a need for it in this community, especially in the rural areas on the Eastern Shore where people really lack access to getting out to the grocery store. And we really want to fill that need, and we need another location to do that.
Right. So do you have paid drivers that take the food from Federalsburg Storage
We
to
do.
the various places?
Yep, we have two drivers on the Eastern Shore right now, and actually I think they have a position posted for another right now.
I was going to say, is there employment
Yeah.
opportunities? And you're saying they just deliver on Wednesdays and Thursdays right now.
Correct.
And people get their 12 meals for the week with the produce bag. And does it? I assume it comes with directions. Do they need a microwave, or can
Yeah.
they just warm it up in the oven?
A microwave or an oven. Yep, there are two different ways to heat up the meals.
Okay.
And then also you have to think about storage as well. So you do need some freezer space to
Right.
keep those meals.
Well, what we'll do is we'll post all your information at the end of the program, the website where there's plenty of information about the program with the applications and such, and then the phone number if they need to call the main office to get access to you.
Sure.
Where you can start the process of, I guess, the screening process of ensuring they have a qualifying diagnosis and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have social media, so you can just search Moveable Feast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on there as well.
Very good. I know you got to get the word out, because to be honest, I've not heard of it.
Yeah.
And then now that I heard about it through Mac, they told me about it. I see articles in the paper or ads up in the Baltimore paper.
Right.
So now it's everywhere, but it's just hearing about it for the first
Right.
time, and then you.
Yeah, it could be that, like, right now we are actively working on expanding on the Eastern Shore. Like, we have a task force and everything that meets regularly to talk about what we're doing on the Eastern Shore, our plans and everything, and working on getting us our facility on the Eastern Shore.
Very good. So this is only in the state of Maryland.
Correct.
Is there
Only-
anything on the Western Shore, or are you pretty much in the Baltimore area and the Eastern Shore?
Pretty much Baltimore City and the Eastern Shore, but all 9 counties on the Eastern Shore, all the way up to Cecil. Actually, our Cecil County clients are delivered from Baltimore.
From Baltimore?
Yeah, the drivers in Baltimore deliver over there,
Oh,
just because
okay.
it's closer.
Yeah, it is in a way. You shoot up
Yeah.
95. All right, well, very good. I'm so happy you could come on the program, and hopefully this will help get the word out to people
Yes.
about what Moveable Feast is and who qualifies and how people can get access to the meals.
Definitely. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Focus on Health here on PAC 14.